Hi, I'm Gary. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, if you were looking on Monday Matters, Margate Matters, as I rechristened it, then yesterday I spent the day along with some wonderful YouTube creators as a guest of Airfix down at their headquarters at Margate. Now, we were given all sorts of presentations and things like that. And I thought I'd give you an impression of the day and show you some of the things they said, report on a few things they didn't say to camera, but which were quite revealing anyway, or interesting, or whatever. I just wanted to say, first of all, that they give us a grand day out, and I do like Airfix kits in general. I've been making them, 50 some years, more than 50 years I've been making Airfix kits. Now, I'm not going to sit here, though, and say they're perfect, because they're not, and they know they're not, to be fair. It will take more than a few trinkets and a goodie bag to change my mind about a company. Quite a lot of things, as it turns out. They were very generous with their goodie bag, or bags, and actually was 2 carrier bags this lot fits into. The new Westland Links 1/48 release, which is fantastic. That's not quite in the shops yet, so that's lovely to have. A couple of 1/43 scale starter set cards. They look really cool. I've wanted to make a couple of these just to see what they're like. Now I can. A 48th Wildcat, 48th 72nd Wildcat. I can use that to test out some weathering, maybe do a weathering tutorial and things like that, with some of the weathering and aging powders I've been given down there. Oh, and some chipping solution as well. Another Hawk. Again, I can use that maybe to test out some of the Gen 2 acrylic paints that Humbrol gave us. There's some mud texture for dioramas, some brushes, sanding pads, primer, and so on. Only thing I'm probably not going to use for the channel in any way are the 2 quick build kits here, the Audi and the F35. But I do know a neighbour with a young lad who would probably really like these, and you never know, may become a modeller in the future as a result. So, thank you very much, Airfix, for your generosity. However, I would say that the more impressive part of their generosity on the day was the time they gave us access to some pretty high-level people in the organisation, some very responsible people in the organisation, designers, brand managers, and so on, to get a really quite good look at the business. Now, I know once or twice you could tell they wanted to evade a question or they're giving the company answer. But to be honest, a lot of the time, if not on camera, they were telling us pretty much how it is, which I think is very nice. The attitude they were trying to put over was very much one of inclusiveness, that they're part of the community of model makers, as are we. Obviously, they're realising that between us, we probably have I don't know, a few times more subscribers than they do, and getting good news about the brand out is good. They weren't upset if we gave them bad news about the brand either, because I guess it means they can go back and look at things. Whether they do or not, I don't know. That's a commercial decision. But it was a good day out, and there's going to be a few videos as a result. So do keep coming back to the channel for those. We'll look at how they make their product selections, how they then go about design, looking at things like 3D scanning and the research they have to do. Look at the problems they're having with production and specifically shipping and delivery. Then we'll have a look around inside their secret showroom. They have an area where they take their clients primarily, where they have built pretty much one of everything. They try and keep one of everything built. So they have a team of secret builders who do this for them, and some of them look great, presented very nicely. We can have a look at a few extra bits and pieces. The mould graveyard. Well, it's not a graveyard really, where the old moulds are. There's a mould store here of things they haven't yet put up as vintage classic releases, for example. It's one I did put in a good word for 1 or 2 of my favourites I would love to see back in stock. And what else? Oh, a quick chat about things like the spare parts and how that's done, and also their views on 3D printing for the future. There was also a presentation by the Humbrol guys about things like Generation 2 acrylics and a new product they're going into, which was very interesting. and could also tie in with that whole home delivery system. So enough of all this. I'm going to clear all this away, put some of it in my stash, and I'll say go knock on the neighbour's door and give them the good news too. And I'll see you back here later on for the first look at our day at Airfix. So here I am outside Horby Hobbies HQ, where Airfix comes from, and we're going to get a day of presentations about how they choose models, how they design them, do the CAD scanning, things like that. We're here from Humbrol for the paints. We'll have a look around the place and see what we get. See what questions we can ask and see whether they're going to let us in on anything. I believe we'll be having a look at the new Anson. They've got all the builds of that. They've got the completed new Buccaneer. So we'll have a look at all that kit and I'll show you what they've been up to. Bye. In part 2 of this, I'll be looking at how Airfix choose which models to make, how they gather all the data they need, and how they design the models themselves. It's quite the process, I can tell you. In part 3, I'll be looking at some test shots, models and schemes for some of this year's new releases. You won't want to miss that, especially if you've been waiting for the Austin K2Y ambulance. In part 4, I'll have a quick look at the spares parts operation and how Airfix try to supply you with that piece that the carpet monster just ate. And in part 5, we'll be hearing from Humbrol about all things related to paint and a new direction for the brand. So there we go. That's what you will hear over the next few days and see over the next few days on the channel is about my trip to Airfix. Now, of course, you can just come back day by day and check out what's there, but if you subscribe to the channel, you can get a little alert bell set up, so when I publish a new video, you get an alert. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you can do it by clicking the small logo there in the bottom right corner. Do remember to give it a thumbs up if you like the video. And that's that. I look forward to the next one arriving as much as you do. I'm off now to put my Airfix Content Creator 2022 award up on the shelf. I'd like to thank my parents, I'd like to thank my wife, I'd like to thank Airfix, and I'd like to thank all of you for watching. See you next time.